From the basement of La Penta, this is WICR.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Sports Wall. Jersey Joe, Big Shot Robin, and Antonio Coppola back here.
And guys, we are here covering more about the New York Jets. And you know what? Thursday we have Jets Bills, and you know who's in the news? It's Rex Ryan, our old coach, coming back to MetLife. And what's the first thing he does, Jersey Joe and Antonio? He names IK NM Capoli his captain. And if anybody doesn't know, IK is the man who gave Geno Smith the punch to his face, broke his jaw, made him lose his starting spot. He got released for this, then signed by the Bills, and now, out of a classless act, Rex Ryan names him captain. But, I mean, this is expected out of Ryan because this is just his typical behavior. That's why his team is the way it is, undisciplined, and it's a joke. He doesn't take anything serious in life. And we're hearing it now from players from last year. Calvin Pryor calling him out. And you know what? Now, I loved Rex. And now I'm starting to hate it. You're seeing the immaturity. You're like a 40-something-year-old man, 50-something-year-old man. Get your life straight. Get your team together because you have a great team out there. And there's something, it's just bothering me. I'm listening to Michael Kay yesterday, and Michael said it perfectly. Send Geno Smith out there with a big check that says $600. That's how you retaliate with that. And you know what? I would actually laugh if that happened. I would laugh if they didn't even send anybody out there. Just so disrespectful to Rex Ryan. You honor your franchise so much. You say Woody Johnson's so great, and then you pull this stunt. And, I mean, we don't know. Maybe he's doing it because Isaac last year destroyed his whole career by absolutely signing nobody to play for him and ruining his season, sabotaging everything. But, I mean, come on, Rex. Grow up. Grow up.
Well said, Rob. Well said.
Antonio, you agree?
I mean, yeah, there's a couple things going on here. Number one is Rex is trolling the Jets as hard as possible. He hates the Jets, whether it's the organization itself, whether it's just what happened last year. I don't know. But the bottom line is that Woody Johnson gave Rex Ryan his break in coaching. I mean, he says he loves Woody. Okay, I believe it. But I think this is taking it a little bit too far. I mean, we've seen this before. I think it was a couple of weeks ago against when the Bills played the Dolphins. What is this, past weekend, right? They play the Dolphins. He sends Richie Incognito out as a captain. I mean, this is Rex, but I think he's taking it a little too far here because this was like a very serious matter. I mean, this is a guy who assaulted another player. If it were anywhere else, and if Geno Smith decided to press charges, this guy would be in handcuffs. He'd probably be in jail for assault. Now, you look at this around the league, it happens a lot. I mean, I think it was last year, Jeff Fisher, when the Rams played the Redskins, he sends out the players that they traded for in the RG3 trade in a way to troll the Redskins. This happens around the league, but when you're Rex Ryan and you're sending out a guy who you only signed because he punched a former player of yours in the face, who I think Geno Smith, by the way, along with Idzik, you said, Rob, he's another one of the guys responsible for kind of ruining Rex Ryan's career here with the Jets. I mean, he played like absolute garbage last year. Whether he got benched for Michael Vick, I mean, we all know what happened, but this is just taking it a little too far, especially when it's an organization like the Jets. It's not just any other opponent. It's an organization that was your home for 5 years, who you had success with, you built relationships with, and I mean, why does he got to burn the bridge like that? I don't understand.
And he's saying that he's done this before, that when a player was on a team the year before, he always sends them out as captains. But it's, come on, be classy right now at the moment. Yes, right now you're playing Jets-Bills, one of the greatest rivalry in sports, but grow up. It just comes to a point. Grow up. Be mature about it. You got to stop joking around. First off, with this Bills team, he's one of the greatest defensive minds out there, Rex Ryan. And you credit that to his father, Buddy Ryan. Buddy Ryan was with the New York Jets, always did a terrific job. And Rex picked up just like him. But Rex Ryan, he's not mature enough. That's why his teams are never successful. You can't take everything as a joke in life when it comes to sports. You see Bill Belichick. Why is Belichick such a great coach? First off, he's so mature. He gets stuff straight, and he doesn't mess around about anything. Nothing's a joke. When do you see Belichick happy? You see Belichick happy when the Patriots are holding up that Super Bowl trophy. Because every game, every Sunday, he is sitting there miserable on the sidelines.
And you mentioned Belichick, Rob. I think Todd Bowles has kind of got that nature to him. I mean, if it were Rex, he would be. If someone did this to Rex, I should say, he would retaliate, and he would probably send Gino out with the check in his hand. That's Rex's style. Todd Bowles, he's not even worried about this. He's not addressing it at all in the media. He mentioned yesterday. He said, "No, I'm not worried about that. We just got It's just another game. It's just another game." And I mean, Geno Smith was asked today after practice if he has any hard feelings towards IK, and he said no. I mean, I don't believe that. I mean, the guy pretty much ruined his career as a Jet, so you can't take that very seriously. But I mean, Joe, before I get your take on this, because you're kind of a
I'm a little outside.
Yeah, you got no dog in the fight here. One last thing I want to say. I mean, Rex Ryan is going to be Rex Ryan. You can't. Rob, you mentioned the undisciplined play. Let this guy give us. I mean the Jets. Let this guy give the Jets the bulletin material they need. The Jets need to go out there, beat this team by 2-3 touchdowns. Let Rex and those guys get all the personal fouls for unnecessary roughness and unsportsmanlike conduct that they get every game. Let them go out there and get those. Let them play their style of uncontrolled chaos and whatever you want to call it. Let them play reckless and let's just go and get this win and be done with it.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. I think, I don't know, I've always kind of looked at Rex like that guy who just can't, that like lost puppy who just can't help himself. He's always like, well, I'm not going to make predictions, but I predict this. We're going to be a really good football team. Well, no, I said I'm not going to make predictions, but we're going to make the playoffs this year, guys. Mm-hmm. It's one of those things, I think it's kind of weird. Like, I think what Jeff Fisher did, I think stuff like that's fine. That's
funny,
clever.
right? Yeah, it's funny.
But what Rex is doing is a little bit different. I mean, that's kind of like, just why?
Yeah.
Like, why would you send a guy out like that? Like, when I send a player out to be a captain for the coin toss, that better be a player who epitomizes everything that I want on my football team, is a leader. I mean, it's clear why you're sending him out. It's kind of a cheap gimmick. I don't like it. I'm with you guys.
That's exactly what it is.
And again, I have an outside perspective on it, but I just think it's a cheap gimmick. It's childish. It really is. Like, grow up a little bit, like Rob said. Let's get over this. But moving on to a little bit more of a serious note, before the Greg Hardy situation. Obviously, he's been all over the news more than usual because the pictures leaked of what happened to his girlfriend, the domestic violence photos that were finally released. And there has really been a strong outcry of people just saying, look, this guy doesn't belong anywhere in the NFL. This guy should not be anywhere in the visible spotlight. He has kind of came out there. First, he ignored it all, and then he said, look, I made mistakes and things like that. But I look at it like this, and I want to know what you guys think. To me, if I'm an NFL owner and I look at my roster, every player I have on my roster is a reflection of me. So if I have a player like Greg Hardy and I go out there and I'm paying this guy to represent my team, it's like a football team is like a business. Mm-hmm. If you have a guy like that representing your team, your business, that's a reflection of you. And if I have Greg Hardy being a player on my team, and as Jerry Jones stated, he's earned the right to be a leader on our team, I think that's unacceptable. I really do.
What is, Joe, man, you guys told me about it. I hadn't seen the photos. I just saw them recently. I'm just saying here, how do you even do that to a woman? What in your right mind? In your guidelines in life, one thing you always learn from your parents, you never put your hands on a female. You never do that. And just Greg Hardy is a prime example of just an atrocious man, disrespectful man.
He's an example of everything that's wrong with. He's the ultimate example of what's wrong with a professional athlete. He's the perfect epitomization of everything that's wrong with it.
He is. I mean, it's a disgrace, and the fact that Jerry Jones has him on his team still. How are you okay with that? And how do you say, oh, we appreciate him like a leader? And you're okay with him representing your team like that? And now all these photos coming out, you're okay with that?
I mean, it really just shows how clueless Jerry Jones is just clueless. He really, and he did make those comments before the picture stuff came out. But even to go out there and say that this guy has earned the right to be a leader on your football team, I mean, it boggles the mind how just the stupidity of a statement like that. Antonio, what do you think?
I mean, not only did he come out and say this guy's worthy of being a leader, but if I'm not mistaken, he said that they were possibly discussing a contract extension. Now, albeit this was all before the photos came out. I don't care. To me, it's the big picture, and I want to keep this short because, quite honestly, I am so sick of hearing about all this, the way the NFL deals with all this domestic violence and all the things that go on. It's like a circus. I mean, we saw it last year with the Red Rice, the Adrian Peterson, all that stuff that went on. They didn't know how to deal with it.
No.
Roger Goodell is getting criticized by every media outlet in the entire country. I mean, I don't even know what you couldn't. If you ask me what happened, I don't know what happened. What, he was put on the commissioner's exempt list for 10 games, and then he appealed, and this year he was only banned 4 games. Like, I don't even know how the process works anymore. And quite honestly, I don't care. They need to figure out. They need to get their act straight. Figure out a system to punish these players, whether it be a couple of years. Like, I don't think Greg Hardy should be doing this to a woman and then coming back and playing the next year.
No.
Competing for a championship. It makes no sense to me. Look at what happened to Ray Rice. The guy got shunned from the league, pretty much. And the bottom line is, when you put pictures or video to a story like this, it wakes people up. But if there's no proof, there's nothing. People don't care. So I don't understand. And the same goes for Adrian Peterson. I mean, there's no proof of what he did, but who knows? I'm so sick of the NFL and the way they deal with this stuff. You said it. This guy should represent the organization. He shouldn't be on a team. Jerry Jones is Jerry Jones. I mean, I've never been a fan of him, the way he operates. To me, when an owner also tries to be a GM, you got problems, and I think it starts there. So that's all I gotta say.
100%. Well, I think there's no other word than embarrassing. Greg Hardy is an embarrassment to humanity, to himself, to the organization, and that's a good way to end off this segment. When we come back, though, we'll talk about people who are not embarrassments. Stay with us, and we'll be right back.
There we go.